Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk where we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, good people? We got sound levels. We good. We good. Looks like we good. What's going on? I know if I'm muted, my man Carlos will let me know. So it's all good. What's going on? Happy Monday to you. Happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Hopefully y'all didn't have to cook your own meal. Hope you, some of y'all, folks cooked for you, or you wasn't on the grill, or if you was on the grill like me, I hope you enjoyed yourself. So good weekend of basketball. Y'all saw the news, man. Everybody saw Caitlin Clark just go off. Caitlin, hey, listen, I know Caitlin Clark went off, but man, let's not get it twisted. Let's keep it 100. That was the Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionescu show, because both of them women were trading shots. Sabrina was on the heater. Caitlin was on the heater. But I tell you what, man, that back-to-back-to-back three-point shot sequence in 38 seconds that Caitlin Clark did was phenomenal. Caitlin Clark is starting to remind me of, this is a weird comp, so stay with me. Some of y'all might not feel this one, but when the Red Sox won the World Series, for me, it seemed like every time I turned on the TV to watch the Boston Red Sox, Big Papi hit a home run. And like David Ortiz, every time he was up to bat, it seemed like every time I would let me see what Red Sox are doing. I would turn it on. He was either on deck, already in the batter's box, and he launched one out of the park. Every time. I don't know what it was, but I would say if I turned the Red Sox on 10 times, 6 or 7 of those times, it was David Ortiz doing something. Either knocking it out the park, extra base hit, or whatever, driving a run in. He was doing something. And every time he stepped up the plate, he made something happen. That's what I see right now with Caitlin Clark. That's what I see right now with Caitlin Clark. You couldn't have scripted that return any better. You couldn't have scripted it any better. They finally showed up in the third quarter. Their third quarters have been hot garbage. And it's cost them a couple games, but they got it together. The last time they played New York, when they lost by 1, and you had the whole play with Natasha Cloud at the end, that game they should have won that game. But they crashed out in the third quarter, and they had to fight their way back in the fourth. Now, granted, they did, and good for them, but come on, man, New York was too good of a team, and then they beat them up at the end, and they didn't even get a shot off. And y'all know how my feelings about Caitlin Clark, when she in her feelings and not getting the calls that she wants. And that seems to be around the league. That's not just Indiana, but it was the same way last year. And I would imagine Nika Gumake and all of these ladies that's going to be in a tight little circle for the CBA negotiations. Somehow, some way, you got to put some type of provisions in with the CBA so you can have some type of checks and balances or some type of grading scale on these refs. These refs are horrible. The only thing they are consistent at is being inconsistent. That's it. These refs are god awful again, and it shouldn't have to be this way. It shouldn't be missed calls when you looking dead at it. I've said this before. When Indiana lost that New York game, the first one, I wasn't upset at the Natasha Cloud play at the end of the game. I thought she D'd up Caitlin Clark nice. And we'll get into that play specifically in a minute. But I thought she D'd up Caitlin Clark nice. The play before, when DeWanna Bonner got knocked down on the baseline trying to go to the basket, and they gave a non-call. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Ray Charles could have saw that. So I don't know what they can do. If there's any way they can put some type of provision, some way to challenge Kathy Engelbert, like, listen, you got to do a better job of vetting these refs. Or at least, if it's bad calls and stuff like that, how are they grading out? How is all of that going down? Because it's bad. It's very bad. And I know, because the microscope is always on the refs, and I know they don't want to do a good job, but again, you got to look at the optics of how the situation is going down, and the optics of it make it seem like you are really favoring one team or another, or really favoring one player over another. The optics of it make it look really bad. Now, it might not seem like that's the case, or it might not be that's the case, but the optics can affect who's betting, how they moving the money. And when you affecting the bettors, the people that's laying down money down in Vegas, when you affecting them, that's a problem. That's a problem. The NFL don't even want to go down that road. So I know the WNBA, they better step carefully. And all they got to do is figure out a way to get a better performance out of these refs. I've seen a couple of games where everything was good. And when I say that, I mean, I'm not talking like you're going to get bad calls in every game, period. That's a fact of life. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, period. That's just the way that it go. However, if these refs are calling all of this ticky-tack shit in the beginning, you better call it that way all the way through. If you letting them play and you swallowing your whistle, you better call it like that all the way through. I've seen maybe 3 games like that this year where I was bitching and moaning because it was ticky-tack, but it ended up being ticky-tack on both sides, and they called it like that the entire game. They didn't switch up in the end. They didn't start off letting them play and then get super tight at the end, or they didn't start out super tight and then all of a sudden you want to let them play. Like, they was consistent, but like I said, I've only seen 2 or 3 like that this whole year. Y'all in the chat, if you seen anything different, let me know. Let me know. Can you relate? I understand that, but I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying, whatever they do, if they gonna call everything for 4 quarters. If they gonna let them play, then let them play for 4 quarters. Just keep it even. Keep it even across the board. So we'll see what they're gonna do. But they got a little ways for that, and they still, right now they still ascending. We had when Caitlin Clark went out, she missed 2 weeks, and the ratings plummet. So of course, Colin Cowherd and Stephen A. Smith and everybody is jumping on that bandwagon. And it's like, if there's one thing that the WNBA has proven, it's that they can operate with low ratings. They've proven that. So if anything, they know how to handle that. We all know Caitlin Clark was coming back, and what happened? The ratings went through the roof when they played New York. That's what I expected to happen. But here's what don't nobody talk about. Here's what nobody talks about. When the ratings dip, when they hit that bottom, that little momentary bottom, when Caitlin Clark was out, that bottom was still higher than what the WNBA used to be. That's what everybody's forgetting. So when the ratings plummeted, when they hit the bottom of that dip and started to come back up, that bottom was still higher than what the WNBA was used to having 2 and 3 years ago. So it's still a win, but everybody just wants to concentrate on the drop. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen, but it's in different places. And I'll say it again. And some things have changed a little bit though, because what I said before was it was Indiana and Caitlin Clark. It was New York because they defending champions, and it was Las Vegas because they were the 2-time champions, and they were getting a lot of pub before Caitlin Clark happened. That's changed a little bit. Las Vegas is going through some struggles. They on a struggle bus right now. And you know what? You might have arguably the best player in the league right now. But if your team is not playing together, she cannot do it all on her own, even though they would like to let you think that she can. Can't do it. Can't do it. I don't care how good Becky Hammon is. If your team is not making shots, don't matter. Becky Hammon, and I say the same thing about Stephanie White. I say the same thing about Tyler Marsh. It's the same thing with Becky Hammon, with Cheryl Reeves. All of these coaches, Nakase out in Golden State. If your team is not making their shots, all the coaching in the world is not going to help. Not going to help. So listen, man. I know a lot of people. Everybody's using the mic reference, but I keep trying to say this. Caitlin Clark's comp is not Michael Jordan. Caitlin Clark's comp is Tiger Woods. The best comp for Caitlin Clark, what she's doing right now, is Tiger Woods. If y'all didn't live through that, or if you was too young to understand it, I was good and grown and playing golf when Tiger Woods happened. When I was in the league, that's what we would do on our day off. The NFL day off is on Tuesday. And what do? You go to the local club and everybody's plays because everybody wants the professional team to play at their club, so they let you play for free. When I was playing with the Eagles, I stayed up at a place called Mount Laurel, and my apartment was right on the ninth hole at this place called Ramblewood Country Club. And they would let us play for free. Ron Jaworski ended up buying it, so all the Eagles could play for free. I could walk out of my front door, out of my apartment, and walk to the clubhouse. That's how close I was. And me and one of my best friends, William Thomas, he would come over to my crib at least 2 to 3 times a week. He would be there. Sometimes he'd be there at like 6 o'clock in the morning. We would tee off at like 6:45. We would play 18 holes, go to my apartment, order a pizza, and go out and play 18 more. We was doing that 2 and 3 times a week. So golf, and I'm saying all that to say, I was into golf when Tiger Woods happened. So I know how many black folks was on the course when Tiger Woods, before Tiger Woods and after Tiger Woods. I saw that in real time. And the reason why I'm making that comp with Caitlin Clark was because Tiger Woods was so good, it annoyed everybody else so bad. You had guys that just finished a round of golf, and you had reporters coming up to them asking them, did they see what Tiger Woods did? Not about their round. They may have just played the best round of their career. And then the first question is about, did you see what Tiger Woods did? Or the dude would be in the middle of an interview and Tiger Woods would be coming up and the gallery would get so loud that they couldn't even hear each other. And they would have to either wait or go somewhere else. And a lot of the players was real annoyed with Tiger Woods. But the thing with Tiger Woods was he was always polite. He was basically quiet. And he was good. He was whooping everybody's ass. They started changing golf courses because of him. That's the comp with Caitlin Clark. She was so good, And everybody just knew she wasn't going to be this good this fast. And it pissed everybody off. Nah, she can't be this good. I'm sick of y'all asking about her. Why y'all always talking about her? It was the same thing. So for me, the comp is Tiger Woods, not necessarily Michael Jordan. I always put, and I've explained this before, I always put Michael Jordan in his own little category because Michael Jordan is directly responsible for ESPN happening. Before Michael Jordan and before ESPN came out in 78. So in 1978, cable wasn't, a lot of people didn't have cable yet. You got to understand the times. History lesson to some of y'all. When ESPN started, Entertainment Sports Programming Network. That's what ESPN stands for. Everybody didn't have it. Most people didn't know what it was, and most people didn't care about highlights. Then Jordan happened. Then he gets drafted. Then the Olympics, and then 1984 happens, and everything changes. I want to be like Mike, and he got the tongue out, and he's dunking on everybody. That's when the highlights started, because then the ESPN highlights in the morning was all the dunks from the NBA games the night before, and everybody wanted to see Jordan. They wanted to see him rock the cradle, have his tongue out, because let's be real, back then, the Bulls were getting drugged. The Bulls were not good. Everybody just wanted to see Jordan. Very similar to last year with Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever was getting drugged, but everybody wanted to see Caitlin Clark. And then they had the break last year, the Olympic break. She got her legs under her, and then she came back with a vengeance and managed to get Indiana into the playoffs. Now, they got bounced in the first round, but at least she got there. So for me, the comp is Tiger Woods. Because anytime, it's only now are you getting to the point where other players will talk positively about Caitlin Clark. It just seemed, once again, the optics. Last year, either nobody had anything good to say, or it was something so far over the top one way or the other. She either wasn't that good or she was too good. It was like, let's be honest. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. Yes, she's a good, and we're hoping she's going to do anything, but you know, how much positive spin can you put on when she go two for 10? So it was too far one way or the other. But to me, the great equalizer is basketball. When you keep it basketball, everything will play itself out. Everything. If you keep it basketball, if you fall into these traps and you drink all this Kool-Aid with all of this other shit that everybody's putting out, all the tabloid stuff that they're doing, social media in the States now is like what the British tabloids used to be. The British tabloids was like the regular normal paper that everybody would get. So the headlines were sensational, and it was basically, they created the clickbait. And that's what a lot of the content is. Everybody wants the clickbait, but the content doesn't match what you think it does. I'm still seeing people talking about Brittany Griner, calling Caitlin Clark a trash ass white girl, and I'm like, we ain't over this yet. But that incident in itself, that let me know how many people that had something to say about the WNBA. That let me know how many people weren't watching the games. That lets me know. Funny thing, my wife is sitting here sending me a text right now talking about, she sent me a link talking about Brittany Griner grows nuts after Stephen A. Smith. And that's probably clickbait. Because anybody that watched the damn game knows Caitlin Clark wasn't even involved in the damn play. It was Natasha Howard who fouled her out. And I will put money against anybody. She said that was a whack-ass call. She ain't say trash-ass white girl. Stop it. Stop it. It didn't even make sense contextually how it went down and the timeline, how it went down in the game when she sat down. The camera was right on her. And if you want to take it to the nth degree, they got hot mics in there. If they really want to find out what she said, they can find out what she said. And me personally, and I'm not even a Brittany Griner fan. Let me say that first. I'm not even a Brittany Griner fan. But I'm trying to keep it 100. And the narrative that people are trying to put out is trash. It's trash. Anybody that watched the game should have been able to tell what she said and why she said it. But somebody, they want to piece together or put some AI shit together and everybody runs with it, because the biggest problem right now is nobody is vetting the information. Nobody is doing their homework. And they just taking the shit and running with it. So, yeah, I saw that. I don't know who was that asked her that question. I saw that. And I was like, what they doing is trying to catch her in the trap. Trying to get her to say something off color, and then they'll take a 2-minute conversation, but they'll take a snippet of 5 seconds worth of sound and they'll run with that. So again, they'll flip it and try to make it sound like something that it wasn't. So it's they've done that a couple times, and I say it's mostly social media. They did the same thing with the Indiana fans and yelling the racial slurs at Chicago. Nobody did that. Then the WNBA launches an investigation and just looks totally stupid, because all you had to do, once again, you had an NBA facility. The Pacers play at the same place the Fever play at the same place the Pacers do. So you got NBA level security and cameras and microphones all over that place. It was very easy to figure it out. And with the amount of people sitting around courtside with phones, somebody was recording something, and nobody patched up anything. And then when you found out what it was, you was like, really? And then the next day, Tyler Marsh is like, well, I ain't nobody told me nothing. I ain't heard anything. That's the question I want to know. That's the question I want to know. Who told the players that this happened? Because whoever told the players, because if you listen to any of the comments from Angel Reese, from the coach, from any of the other players about that incident specifically, nobody heard anything. All they reacted to was the NBA supposedly doing an investigation. That's what they were told. I heard the NBA is investigating what some of the fans did. And then what they did was, and this is where I put it on those players, some of the Chicago players, because they fell into that narrative, didn't have nobody do their homework. And then it comes out it was a bunch of bullshit. And they look stupid. The WNBA looks stupid. Anybody that falls into that trap, and all you got to do is do your homework. You could have looked at a replay of the game and figured that out. And I guarantee you, if anybody would have been saying anything racial to Angel Reese, and she would have heard it, because from where it was and what they said was going on at the court, if she would have heard it, she would have said something, and she didn't. But they just ran with the story. And somebody from social media said something to somebody else on social media. Did you hear what they was doing in the stands? And then I heard becomes law. Nobody bothers to do their homework. I somebody understand Caitlin isn't always going to shoot lights out like she did on Saturday. Yep, she is not. The Liberty, and why it's important for me to see how Caitlin plays when the shot isn't falling. Absolutely, I agree 100%, bro. I agree 100%. That's what the purpose of this cast is. That's why I put that's just one game. That's just one game. We can't have another 2 for 10. Or we can't have a situation where Caitlin's playing just okay, but Kelsey Mitchell can't hit water at a beach, because she's been having her struggles from deep. She still finds a way to get to the rack and penetrate and use her speed. But sometimes Caitlin Clark is not going to be owned, and you're going to need Kelsey Mitchell to pick up the slack. Kelsey Mitchell is the only one that can score at volume like Caitlin Clark. She's the only one. I wish Lexi Hall would take more shots, but Lexi Hall will pass up open shots to continue to run the play. It's not in her yet, or she hasn't had that moment where she's had to drop 25 or something like that. Now, she had that one game last year where she dropped 18, and that was kind of her coming out party. I think she hit like 4 or 5 threes or something like that. She might have hit like 6. And I think she had 18 points, but that was like her coming out party. And then her confidence level just went through the roof. And even to this day, and I said it on my last stream, I love Lexi Hall because Lexi Hall doesn't get a lot of good shots, but she makes the shots that she gets. Could Lexi Hall be a better scorer? I think she could, because I think she's a good shot. She just doesn't take them. She just doesn't take it. I think she's got better than average ball handling skills that can create her own shot. I just don't see her doing that. She's gonna have to take initiative and do it. And it's gonna have to be one of them games where something happened to Kelsey. Caitlin Clark had to go out for a quarter. It's gonna be something like that. And she's just gonna have to take over a game or even see if she can do it. That's the way it goes sometimes. So, yeah, AB was good. If AB could stay out of foul trouble, she would be an MVP candidate. So my only gripe with AB is I still don't like the way she rebounds, and it infuriates me when she gets a rebound and one of these guards comes around and knocks it out of her hands because she doesn't put pressure on the ball. That drives me nuts. As somebody that's a coach, that drives me nuts. So, yeah, social media is 99% trash, but don't stop people from reading it. You know how that goes. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Kelsall. And here's the other thing. These teams have a year's worth of game tape on Caitlin Clark. A year. So the fact that she came out and did what she did against New York and was having the type of season she was having thus far is pretty impressive. Now, the flip side of that is you look at the struggles that Angel Reese is going through. Angel Reese just had that triple-double. Phenomenal game. Phenomenal. Like, that's what I expect. But the assist was something different. And the reason why, not that she can't do it, clearly she can do it, but because your squad hit their shots. That's been Chicago's problem. They can't shoot. Angel had the 2 worst games, I would argue, of her collegiate career a couple weeks ago, where she played like trash. And then, of course, everybody gonna jump on the bandwagon because you get that big contingency of people that love to hate on Angel Reese. You got people that legitimately don't like her as a player. You got people that legitimately don't necessarily like her as a person. And then you got everybody else that just looking for something negative to say so they can jump on the bandwagon, so they can keep feeding those narratives. But you don't just luck into a triple-double. I don't give a damn what anybody say. Then she did the Aikido move, took your opponent's momentum and flipped it on them when she copyrighted me bounds. I was like, solid. That's a business move right there. The me bounds is what they call it when she gets her own miss and puts it back up. They call them me bounds. So she copyrighted and gonna get a quarter every time somebody say it. I ain't mad at you. Make that money. Don't let the money make you. But people, she got to play a little bit more consistently. That's her thing. Or that's my thing with her. And You can only get an assist if the person you passing to makes the shot. And Chicago was on the other night. Chicago was on against Connecticut. Mabry had a good game, and it still didn't matter. So, can they do it again? I don't know. But she has to be better on offense. She has to be better. I already know she's gonna get rebounds. Angel Reese can get 10 rebounds in her freaking sleep. Let's be real. So she ain't got to try to get 12 points. I said this the other day. I'm always expecting 10 to 15 points from Angel Reese. For her to average a double-double is not a problem. She should be able to do that with her eyes closed. But everybody else on that squad has got to make shots. As bad as everybody's on Tyler Marsh don't shoot no jump shots. He don't set no picks. He don't drive the lane. He don't make passes. He don't defend. He don't do none of that. And when them women are on the court and they missing layups in the paint, Camila Cardoso missing layups inside of 3 feet, when Angel Reese is throwing up that underhand layup and got too much heat on the ball and beefs the layup, when Ariel Atkins is shooting threes and not hitting a thing, or they get caught not paying attention, and the shot clock is running out, so they end up chucking up a bad shot. That's not Tyler Marsh. That's the people on the court not being accountable for what they're doing on the court. And you got to say it like that, because when Angel Reese gets that triple-double, that's a damn good game. She got that triple-double. She earned it. But when you play like trash, you earn that too. It's got to go both ways. And you got to keep it 100. And I say that about everybody. Caitlin Clark is the same way. When Caitlin Clark get in her feelings and things ain't going her way and she ain't hitting her shots, her body language turns to trash, got to call her on it. Because when she made them logo threes, she the greatest thing since sliced bread. But when she don't move her feet on defense, when her body language sucks and you can see it in her face, and she's snapping at the refs and getting teased, don't end up costing your team a win or an opportunity because you being stupid. Can't do that. And I'm I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. I like both of them, but I'm gonna call it like I see it. I'm gonna call it like I see it. There's no reason that a halfway big can't get 10 points a game. It's just one basket quarter, a couple of free throws. Listen, man, I understand that, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's easy. That's my expectation of Angel Reese. You're absolutely right. I should get it. But here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and act like she's standing under the basket by herself and you ain't got the opponents trying to stop her. The other people get paid too. So if she getting her me bounds, then I'm looking at your opponent like, well, what the hell are you doing? Because if she getting them, that's on you. I'm not faulting her if she missed 4 layups in a row and she get all 4 her rebounds. So what is everybody else doing? Just standing there watching her? Well, if they just standing there watching her, then you know what? Get you about 4, 5, or 6 more while you at it. Because if they're going to be dumb enough to stand there and watch and not try to go up and prevent her from getting them me bounds or whatever you want to call it, then y'all stupid. She ain't playing by herself. It don't work that way. If you want to stop her, stop her. But now you're talking about something that she's good at, and everybody don't want to give her credit for it. It is what it is. You don't just and think about it like this. Look at, I think it was Ariel Atkins, not Ariel Atkins, I'm sorry, Alicia Gray. Alicia Gray had a 30-point game the other day. First time in her career, right? Was it Skylar Diggins early in the season? She got her first double-double. There's been a couple of ladies in the W that got their first career double-double. Now, mind you, these are 3 and 4 and 5 year vets. And Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark came in and put it down from the beginning. Angel Reese averaged a double-double as a rookie. But everybody want to say she trash. I don't get it. She might not play to your liking or to your particular cup of tea. I'd be more agreeable when you say, I just don't like the way she play. Okay, because that's opinion based. You don't like the way I cook? Don't eat my cooking. I get that. That's fair because that's based on your opinion. But you're not going to sit there and tell me she trash and she averaged a double-double last year. And if Caitlin Clark wasn't rookie of the year, she would have been. So let's table that conversation. Keep it basketball. Take the bullshit out of it. Keep it basketball. What time is it? 9:34? Cool. I wanted to before I get too deep in the woods, man. Let me drop this link. Let me drop this link. So if anybody want to come on, got something to say, the link is dropped. But yeah, man. So we're looking at what are they going to do going forward. So number one, the biggest thing, you got to have consistency. Angel Reese, if you want to have any chance of getting a triple-double ever again, it ain't on you. You ain't got nothing to do with it. If you ever want to get a triple-double, your teammates got to hit their shots. I'll say it again. You don't get an assist if they don't make the shot. So Ariel Atkins has got to play better. She got to shoot better. Rachel Banham, I ain't even going to talk about her. You got Kia Nurse, Camila Cardoso, Rebecca Allen have all been average at best. Now, Kia Nurse hit shots on that triple-double night. Haley Van Lith ended up with 16 points. Let that girl start. Take Rachel Banham out the starting lineup. Let HVL play. Let her take her lumps and get comfortable with what she's doing so y'all can have a legit point guard. Because clearly you ain't going to get another one. Y'all dealing with Jeff P. You got what you got, unfortunately. So it is what it is. So he said, you thought she was back at Iowa. Yeah, man. That 38-second, man, I'm going to do a video on that. I'm going to like put graphics and stuff on it, man. But that was one for the ages right there. That was one for the ages right there. I ain't going to lie. The thing about AR is there's no separation of personal life and basketball life in this world today. So everything that is said off the court, done on the court, it's all spoken about. That's facts, bro. That's a good point. That's a good point. I said this on my man KSAP show. I said this a while ago. I said, I have doubts that Angel Reese will be in the league in 4 years. Because every time she step on the court, she's taking a pay cut. She makes so much money off the court that you gotta. This is gonna test your love of the game because anybody, if you played at the high school, at the college level, let alone if you played in the league, the NFL, the NBA, the WNBA, professional tennis, professional golf, whatever, hockey, baseball, whatever you played. You got to deal with the bullshit that comes. And that's at every level because of social media. Everybody's dealing with this shit. Not just pro players anymore. Pro players just get it the worst. But everybody has some semblance. AAU, kids AAU ball nowadays is horrible. It's trash. Because all kids want to do is isolate folks and try to cross somebody over. That's all they want to do. And then put it on TikTok. That's it. So, but you 100% right, man. So you got the basketball side and you got the business side. And can you relate? Like you are 100% correct. I agree with you 100%. But here's where the division comes in that people still, that it still applies. Everything you said is 100% accurate. but this still applies. If we see too much of your off the field stuff, your off the court stuff, and you not winning, that is a problem. Ask Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is one of the best edge rushers in the NFL. But the only thing everybody talk about is his damn podcast when he doesn't say something else. If you not winning, sometimes you need to turn it down. Because if you not winning, what's her name? Hold on. What's her name? Yes. Anna Kournikova. Anna Kournikova. Playboy looks, drop dead gorgeous, tennis player, known for tennis. But watch this. Watch this. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, y'all still got me? Yep. Check this out. Look at this right here. Grand Slam singles results. This is what it's about right here. Australian Open. She made it to the quarterfinals. French Open. Wimbledon. US Open. Never won a Grand Slam. Never. But everybody knows the name. And at the time when she was at her peak, she was everywhere. She was on magazine covers, very similar to what we see with Angel Reese and Cam Brink and all these other statuesque girls, 6'3" girls with legs up to their neck and all that. They beautiful. They gorgeous. Anna Kournikova. She was that girl before they were that girl. She ain't win shit. She ain't win a damn thing. She is known solely for her looks. She is known only for her looks. She didn't win jack. So what happens is when that gets to be your calling card, Angel Reese, you got to put your nose to the grind. Or the only thing everybody's going to remember you for is your outfits at the Met Gala. I ain't mad at you. If you can get into them spaces, get into them spaces. But this is about basketball because the people that want to follow Angel Reese, the culture icon and all of that kind of stuff, they're going to follow you whatever you do. But when you step on that court, you're trying to win championships. They don't give a damn you went to the Met Gala. The people that's interested in that stuff will gravitate towards that stuff. The people that are trying to keep it basketball are going to keep it on the court. They don't give a shit about what you did at the Met Gala, who you was wearing. Don't matter. If you not winning, that's the stuff you're going to end up being known for. And then what it ends up becoming is a cop-out. Angel Reese ain't never win nothing. Oh, but girl, she was at all the awards. She on magazine covers and all that's great. What she do when she was on the court? Because I'm talking about basketball. I'm not interested in the soap opera stuff. That's not me. Other people might be. That's not me. I'm keeping it basketball. Like, you see what I'm saying? So you don't want to be in that category. You can't bring up LSU anymore. LSU was 2 years ago. Almost 3 now. And the one thing they tell you, at least they told me when I got in the league, man, listen, I was the 1AA all-time lead in Russia, 6.7 yards a carry, 42 touchdowns, OVC records, and I got records that still stand. College Football Hall of Fame nominee, all of that stuff. They don't want to hear that shit. When you come to the league, what you did back then don't matter. Don't matter. What do you think we would say, us in Philadelphia? What do you think we would say about Jalen Carter if he sucked? We don't give a damn that he won a title the year before. We don't care about that. That shit does not matter anymore. And when you get to the professional level, I don't want to hear about what you did in college. It don't matter. It's all about what you're doing right now. What you doing right now. Kiki Iriafen is balling. In my opinion, Kiki Iriafen is the leader in the clubhouse for Rookie of the Year. That's my opinion. A lot of people would say Paige, and guess what? I ain't going to argue with you. I understand. But before that 35-point game, Paige was good, not great. When she hit that 35-point game, that was great. That was elite level. Let's see if she can do it again. But Kiki's been consistent. And guess what? UConn can't help Paige right now. Matter of fact, she's struggling right now because she's used to the discipline, the excellence that is Gino Auriemma. And what she got is Coach Man Bun down there in Dallas. What she got is Dejanay Carrington in the pool doing some dumb shit that just becomes a distraction. She living the shit that Auriemma used to tell her other teams used to do, which is why they can't win. We winning because we don't get into all of that. We winning because that's not us. We winning because we're about excellence. We stick to our business and we handle it on the court. That's why UConn wins. And she not in that situation. She on the other team. She on the team where everybody else is telling you what not to do. You see what they did? Yeah, you don't want to get in that type of trouble. Every sport, every team sport, in college and even in the pros, every team sport, there is a guy or a woman on the team where the coaches and the GMs and everybody in the organization knows if you bringing in a young talent, keep them away from that person, because I don't want that person taking them to the club at 2:00 in the morning. I don't want that person getting them in trouble because they go on 135 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone at 1:00 in the morning. Keep them away from that person, because that person is trouble. There's one on every team. And it seems like maybe Dejanay is that person. I could be wrong. The thing in the pool could have been a blip on the radar. She may have never done it before, and she might not ever do it again. But the optics of it don't look good. And you down there with your spouse, girlfriend, boo, whatever you want to call Nalissa Smith, not a good look. Not a good look. Oh, I'm lost in the chat, man. Where y'all at, man? Y'all going down that way. You don't think? Listen, I don't think Coach Man Bun is a good coach. What's his name? Conklin? Is it Cocklis? What's his name? How do you pronounce his name? I just call him Coach Man Bun. Chris Cocklins. Cocklins? Koclanes. Chris Cocklins. Coach Man Bun. Dallas is listen, they in the same boat. In my opinion, they in the same boat. I think Tyler Marsh is a better coach.
Wrong. I didn't
But, you know, what's going on, Carlos?
What's up, Coach?
Not much, man. Not much. What you got?
Hey, listen, what I was saying earlier about the MJ comment, I wasn't comparing Caitlin to him. What I was basically saying, when you were saying earlier about the team, I was like, even MJ, as great as he was, he couldn't do it on his own.
Oh,
and he needed
facts.
his teammates to do it. But when you was talking about the Tiger comparison, I said that's spot on because Tiger dealt with the same thing, even worse because you know how golf is,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
certain aspects. So he
yeah.
definitely got it worse.
Well, no, your comparison is spot on too, even with MJ, because I think Indiana was not as bad. Well, I can't even say that because Indiana was bad.
Hmm.
Indiana was horrible. Kelsey Mitchell, as good as she was, had never been to the playoffs
Yeah,
until her
they
6th year
played
in the league.
inconsistent, a lot of inconsistent ball. But we both know, coach, they got a whole new team, so that kind of plays a big part into that too. They got a gel, but still, you still got to make certain shots a day because these damn layups and the free throws, man, they gotta make those, man. Those are
Yeah,
shots you
man.
have to make. You
That's
can have a low percentage on that, man.
yeah, man. It was I don't know what's going on with their free throws this year, but it has not been good, man. It
Hey,
has not been good.
is it just me, coach, or does sometimes does Kelsey's brain and body play Marco Polo when she's like on a fast break? Because it seems like her body's too fast.
Man, she was like that last year, just not as much, man. Because
Like
she
she under the court by the time she going for the layup. Like, oh
she
shit, I think
just
I was running too fast for this one.
yeah, she's super fast like that, man. She's super fast like that. But it's happening. It happens to her. It happens to Brittany Sykes. It happens to Kelsey Plum. All those super fast guards. Even when Ari McDonald was playing, she couple of plays she had the same thing. But last year, for the most part,
Mhm.
more times than not, Kelsey Mitchell made those shots. She made
Mhm.
those shots. But my thing is like that's gonna happen. But my thing with Kelsey Mitchell this year is like her 3-point shooting has been off badly. So I'm hoping that she gonna eventually find her stride. Um, but she can still make things happen when she penetrates because can't nobody really check her. She's that fast.
Yeah, she's hiccup fast, man.
Yeah.
She's blink fast, yo. She's definitely got some quick twitch moves. He be hitting girls with these moves like, ugh.
So
How
we'll
can you
see.
be
We'll see what
nasty
they
with
gonna
that?
do, man. But they get it's a now I don't have to say I was saying this on my man Brooklyn's stream the other day. I'm finally done with the it's early. We at 10 games. You
Mhm.
ain't got to say that no more. You know what you got. You know what kind of teams you got right now. Indiana's a good team. Atlanta's a better team right now.
Mhm.
Atlanta's been balling.
The crazy thing
Washington,
is like,
in my opinion, Washington is sneaky good.
yeah, the crazy thing when it comes to Atlanta and the Fever, and when it comes to the Fever in New York, it's like the same team for both oppositions. It's like Fever match up well with the Liberty, surprisingly,
Yeah,
and
it would not surprise me if
they beat them in the series.
no if they end up in the finals again if of
New York,
Minnesota and New York.
yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I won't be
Yeah,
surprised because and the same thing with when it comes to Atlanta and the Fever. Atlanta just matches up with the Fever very,
yeah,
very well. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Ryan Howard, she's like the X factor for them. Because can nobody stop her on the.
she been balling, man. Ryan Howard
And
been balling, bro.
a friend of mine, we were talking about this because we I got like a sports room that I'm in, so we talk a lot of WNBA and all that shit too. So my friend was telling him, he was like, "Yo, don't be surprised if you see Indiana and New York in the Eastern Conference Finals." I'm like, "No," I said, "Don't be surprised if you don't see Atlanta
Yeah,
and them because Atlanta's no joke. This
Atlanta ain't playing.
yeah, they definitely got a squad like." Brittany Griner is definitely their anchor on defense, but Ryan Howard is their engine. Like he balls, and it's like it's hard to stop her, especially Indy. Like she's been cooking it.
Yeah, and plus, wait till later on in the season.
Hmm.
Pow Pow gonna wake up.
Yeah, her too. Her too.
Pow Pow gonna wake up.
She gives Caitlin fits because she's a little quick, little guard.
Yep, and she was the best 3-pointer in the country last year.
Yeah, she gonna do all right. She gonna do
So
all right
you
once
know,
everybody gets acclimated.
yeah, they got man, it's somebody on every team that I want to see play on every team, and I couldn't say that last year.
It's just getting better, coach. The talent is getting better. These girls are it's just natural evolution, I guess. The
Yeah, I'm
game
in
is
love with the
getting
French girls
changing.
too.
Yeah,
I love the
them
French girls,
international,
man.
and you're gonna start seeing it just like the NBA was. Remember
Yep,
back in the day when they had back in the '92 Olympics, there were only 8 NBA Europeans.
yep,
Now there's like over 100, maybe.
yep. Gabby
So
Williams, um,
you're gonna
Mar-
start seeing more international players in the WNBA, and
Marine
you're gonna start.
Johannes, that girl from Golden State, Carla Leet, and not she ain't Salon.
Yeah,
Salon
what's
is,
up?
is
What's my girl? What's my girl? The one that dunks again? I forgot her name.
Dominique Malonga.
Malanga. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
she's nice. I like
yeah,
her. But it's just like them. But look at that. Look at the NBA. How, like I said, how that stuff evolved. The last 7 straight MVPs have been from international players.
absolutely.
That's
Yep,
crazy. So it's
yep.
just gonna evolve more. It's just like they say. How before the internet came, how like it was across overseas. They're like a little bit behind us. That's what the WNBA is. They're just a little bit behind. That's
I,
all.
I wouldn't even say that anymore because I got to look. You got to look at it like this. That's going to change
Mhm.
because I'm thinking when they do the new CBA, they're probably going to add 2 spots on every roster.
Mhm.
Maybe, at best 2, maybe 1,
More games.
because they're gonna have to negotiate. Like they're gonna have to give something up. So,
Yeah.
do you want the players to make more money, or do you want another roster spot? And I think they would give up that extra. Instead of 2 roster spots, maybe they just get 1, and then everybody get a lot more money across the board. So it's going to be something to that effect. But
Right. But my
it,
thing is, I think that they're obviously when it comes to business, you always want to have something on the back end for yourself too. You don't want to make a deal that's, you know, what I mean, you want to get as close as what you want in the deal as much as the other person, right? When it comes to negotiations.
yeah, but it's
But
different. It's different with the CBA stuff.
right, but what I'm saying is I understand that they don't have as much leverage because they're pretty much not their own entity. They're
Right.
under the umbrella of somebody else. I get that part. So their leverage isn't too crazy. What I'm saying is even with the WNBA, as far as them just want to get some on the back end on the sense of, like you said, they put more roster spots. But if they put more roster spots, they're gonna say, let's add more games.
Um,
I would think that would be part of CBA. If they want to make more money, they're gonna have to add more games. They're at 44 games, I think, a year now, right now, I think, during the season, right? Like 44, 45? Because they
yeah,
did add a couple games. So I would say about 50, add about 5 more games.
I can see that. I
50.
can see that happening.
You know what I'm saying? Because they want to get that extra revenue in there too. You know what I'm saying? Which helps them out later in another CBA if they start making more money, which will be less. You know what I'm saying? So they'll start having their own kind
Right.
of power once they start, getting more players to because you got um Juju coming in. You got exciting players that's gonna start coming. You got Flage, you got, you know what I'm saying? You got different personalities. So people are gonna start, it's gonna be start watch more people are gonna start want to watch it more. So they're gonna
That's
start
a
getting
good
their
point
revenue
so
from TV
far.
and all that.
Yeah,
So
and you got expansion teams too. I
right.
forgot about that. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I would definitely add either a roster spot and a more games because they gotta come in between for that. So if it's not gonna be 2 roster spots or 5, 6 games, I'll add like 3 games and add a roster spot somehow. Like, you know what I mean? We'll work
Yeah.
something.
And also they still gonna they're still gonna do there'll be more companies come in to join in the endorsements and all that type of stuff. So the
Mhm.
opportunity to make a ton
Mhm.
of money is gonna be there,
Yeah.
especially Caitlin Clark ain't going nowhere barring injury. So she's gonna
Right.
always get the crowd. I think
Right.
New York is at a point where they can stand on their own because they always packing their arena.
Yeah.
And even though I think Stewie, I think her game is kind of declining. I think Sabrina Ionescu is still top notch. Jonquel Jones is still top notch. And
Mhm.
right now, even though her averages ain't great, uh, Natasha Cloud on some other stuff right now, man, and she a,
Yeah.
she a big lift for New York.
The
So
personalities play a big part into it too.
yeah, so I think right now, I think Las Vegas has lost a little luster because they on the
Mhm.
struggle bus right now, but you still got 3 teams that are really capturing the the visibility in the league and the audience, and that's
Mhm.
Indiana, obviously, New
Right.
York because they defended champs, and Golden
Yeah.
State.
I mean, she's the main numerator in all this is Caitlin. Once Caitlin is there, she's there. It's everything's just gonna build around that. If they learn how to just calm down with all the stupid shit, if they learn how to calm down with that a little bit,
Yeah, but that's
you know
not
what I'm
them
saying?
though. That's not them. That's everybody on the outside that don't matter.
That too, but but let's be honest, because there are some players that was saying some ridiculous stuff and stuff last year, and it's just certain things that like basically what I'm saying is like sometimes you got to learn to kind of keep your mouth shut too, or
Yeah, but
just kind of like
they gonna end up learning the hard way.
yeah. But anyway, regardless, if Cece's there, then you're in a good place. And like I say, you're just gonna add to it because you're gonna have more players that's gonna come in. Like I said, i.e., Flage and
Is she even
Juju.
gonna play?
Cool.
Flage?
I mean, Flage been playing for LSU. I think she just making that NIL money. That's why she
No,
hasn't.
no, that's my question. Is she even gonna play? Is she even
I
gonna
think
play
she's
in
gonna
that?
play. Yeah, I think she's gonna play.
Or is she
I
just
think
gonna
she
put out another album and and keep it moving?
will.
You know,
That's
it's
crazy. That's the kind of the gift and curse when you have many talents and shit. You just don't know what kind
yeah,
of avenue you want to take. But at least there's a silver lining in it. If she doesn't, at least she got another career waiting for her. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
She
So
good. She ain't hurting.
yeah, and
Shoot,
she could rap too. She ain't whack. She could
I ain't
rap
gonna lie.
too.
That Powerade commercial was fire.
Yeah. She could rap. She
That
ain't
was
whack.
that was fire. Nah.
But her personality would be so perfect for the WNBA. She's such a likable person. She's like Sid 2.0. You know what I'm saying? Like such a
Yeah.
likable kind of character, but she's got a personality that'll bring people in, and she could play.
Yes, she can play.
You know what I mean? So I mean, we'll see what happens with the CBA. We'll see what happens. But yeah, they definitely don't have as much leverage as they probably think they do because the NBA is like,
Nah, they
know how
don't.
much y'all owe us, motherfucker?
They gonna want their money back, man. So, but in my opinion, right now, the way things going right now, if everybody stay relatively healthy, because
Hmm.
people gonna get injured, but for the most part, as long as somebody ain't missing the whole season, they're gonna be good to go. And I would think that the WNBA could probably start turning a profit
Yeah,
probably around 2029, 2030.
yeah.
And
And
that's
then
realistic.
on top of Caitlyn, you got Paige too. She's
Yep.
very likable.
You got
So
Caitlin, you got Paige, you got Olivia
mhm,
Miles coming, Juju
mhm.
Watkins coming, Lauren Betts is coming.
Yeah,
And then after that, in another 3 years, you got what's the girl from Michigan? Silas Swords. You got
uh,
Toby Fournier from Duke.
yeah,
That's another one that can dunk.
yeah,
Let's see if she does it in the game. But
yeah.
so yeah, they got a lot of people that everybody's looking out for. So
And the crazy thing, like I give a wrestling reference. Everybody's not going to be a baby face.
nah,
You got to have some heels.
nah.
You
I
gotta,
mean,
you gotta
and
have some villains.
man, as long as they keep it on the court, man. Uh,
Yeah. But you gotta have those mixtures of personalities. You gotta have all those types of people. You gotta have your character people. You gotta have your people who talk their shit. You gotta have your people who don't give a damn.
yeah, you're right.
It's all a mixture. Everybody's
You're
personality's got to
right.
be different, right? Like as much as people hate Draymond, they're gonna watch him.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
We're gonna
it's
watch the train wreck.
right. It's just like kind of like Floyd. They wanted to watch him to lose. They as much as they talk trash, they were gonna watch
Yep.
him.
They want to see
So
him. Yep,
you
you're
need you
absolutely right.
need your villains. You need your villains. The villains are what really make it. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody wants a good guy. Shit.
Yeah.
I didn't always cheer for Batman. There was a couple times I wanted the Joker to win.
But I tell you what, man, they in a interesting situation because
They are.
the next 3 years, it's gonna be a lot of the old guard that got to get out. They got to get out
Hmm.
of the way,
Hmm.
and it's gonna be a lot of people that's jealous because they're gonna have to walk away from that money and they ain't gonna be ready to.
I mean, they just couldn't be honest with you. The WNBA was just surprised in itself because they didn't expect it to be as big as it is with Caitlyn. They was like, all right, she's big, but I didn't think it was going to be.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they weren't ready for it yet. They
they
were not
weren't.
ready for it.
Not
It was
they wasn't nothing
came
they could
out of
do.
nowhere. Yeah,
Wasn't
they
nothing they
and
could
they
do.
didn't know how to handle it. But like you said, it's like a how do you say when you're learning something as it goes? What's the saying for it? Trial and error. It's like they're
Yeah,
going through
yeah.
the trial and error right now. So just just deal with the bumps right now and Just keep moving. But as long as you got Caitlin there and you got everybody else that's coming along, you should be okay. You should be able to, like Stephen A. said, all what is it? Sinking, all ships.
Oh, rising tide raises all boats.
Yeah. So you know what I mean. So be all right. But
Yeah, they
like I
good.
said, the main thing is Caitlin. As long as she's playing, as long as she's in the league, because look at it. These last 5 games she was out proves it. Like,
Oh yeah.
and then what happens when she came back against New York? It was the most watched game of the season already.
Yep.
Like, so instantly, it's like, you know what I mean. Even if she didn't have half the game that she had, they were still watching. So, you know what I mean. You got people to cheer for, and you got people to boo. So, but as long as the talent is there, then everything will still be okay. And the talent is going to be there because, like I said, these girls are just getting better and better,
Right.
getting better and better. So, and you're going to have more people like Caitlin. You're going to have more people like that. Not going to be Caitlin, but you're going to have more that's going to be 3-point
Yeah.
shooters, and you're going to have more.
Man, they waiting for Juju.
Oh yeah,
They waiting for
that's
Juju.
another one. But the bridge to Juju is going to be Flau'jae, in my opinion, and whoever else is going to be. But like I said, it's not because of the basketball; it's because of her personality. That's what's
Yeah.
going to make
Yeah.
people want to watch is her personality. She's got, like I said, she's got just one of them likable personalities. Like she just got a
Right.
high energy. She got like a BG personality, just always positive. Just one of the people that you always need in the locker room. You know what I mean?
That's a good yeah.
So it's like a
BG.
Nolan Smith right now. Like that's how Nolan Smith is.
Right.
So you always need, especially like in football, y'all got so many more players, but you need all those type of personalities. You need that motherfucker that's gonna slam his head on the damn wall before he goes out in the field. You need you need the calm, cool quarterback. You need the diva wide receiver that's gonna get you 100 yards in the game. You need that
Right.
running back that's gonna, you know what I mean? You need all different type of people, or it'll just be boring and you won't want to play. Me, I wouldn't care as long as that game check comes to. Like I'm good, coach. I'll run through a wall for this game check. Heck
Facts.
with that. So
Oh, come on, Philly. You know, there you go with the trash. She ain't trash.
Phillies won today.
You might
Five
not
straight.
you might not like her. You might not like her the way she played Philly, but she like you must not have heard me early in the thing. Like, man, like get out with the trash stuff. Like she's struggling with it like with everybody else, but when she play her game, you don't average a double if you trash. Because
Well,
it's too many people, it's too many veterans in the W right now that are just getting a first one.
the crazy thing, this goes back to what we was talking about, coach, when we was talking about Angel. She's definitely a perfect example of what I was saying. You need that villain type that's
Yeah,
going to be the
you're right.
contrast to Caitlyn. And she's
Yep.
the perfect villain. Even if people don't go to her games necessarily, she still has a social media following that's so, you know what I mean? The tension is still there in
Yeah,
different
but
ways.
that leads into my point I was saying,
Hmm.
like the whole Anna Kournikova thing. Like
Ah,
you don't want that to be the cop out.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Because they
You don't
didn't look at her for a tennis.
because exactly, and because that
You
becomes a
want to be
problem because
typecasted.
because now everybody for all of the people that love Angel Reese
Hmm.
and they want to pump her up at every given opportunity. I understand that because that's your favorite player, and that's what you should do. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't play itself out on the court, it does not matter.
Factuals.
She'll just be another pretty face, and she had a
Yeah.
lot of other stuff going on off the court.
Yeah.
But when you keep it basketball, it's
Right.
gonna play itself out.
But that's what I was saying too. I was like, as long as the talent is there, then
Yeah,
everything else should be. But like you said, if it doesn't, then at the end of the day, it's gonna get to a point where her fans are even gonna start getting tired of her. Like I can't defend this no more.
yeah. But even the talent
Mhm.
don't. You need more than talent. Look at what Asia's dealing with right now.
Mhm.
You can't tell me Asia ain't still the argument now is between Asia and Fee, who the best player in the league right now is. I would give it to Fee
I think it's fee right now for
at
just a
this
split.
particular moment. But if you're gonna
Yeah.
take, I said this the other day, Fee is the best player right now.
Better two-way, in my
However,
opinion.
if you want to take a 5-year sample size or when they came in the league and Asia got 2 rings, back to back in MVP in both of them, there's
Asia's
an
career
answer
is
to your
better.
question.
Yeah, Asia's career is better. You can't compare careers
Yeah, but
right
right
now.
now, like I still say Asia is 1 and
Mhm.
Fee is 1.01.
Yeah.
It's not a big difference. So
Yeah, it's like you wouldn't get mad in the draft if I chose either one. You wouldn't get mad with either or.
nah,
It's like,
but
oh damn, I ended up with Asia. You're not gonna do that. You
nah,
know
but
what I'm saying?
as much as I love Fee, like you got to win one first.
True, true,
You got to
true.
win one first.
That's what I say. As far as careers, it's Asia. It's not even because the championships do matter. I mean, she's been to the finals, but your team just couldn't get it done. You ran
Philly,
into the New York team. So
Philly, Emmett, who you talking about? You talking about if there's a lot of racism in the W? If
I think
she
you're
was
talking about
black,
Caitlin.
if you talking about Caitlyn, I
Yeah.
disagree. I disagree because look at Diana Taurasi. She didn't and I say it like this: is Caitlin Clark better than Diana Taurasi?
I think he's talking about in the sense of him and her and Angel.
No. I understand that. But
Okay.
my point is when people do the black and white thing, I can name a whole bunch of. You can name Sue Bird. You can name Ella Del Don. You can Diana Taurasi. There's a whole bunch of badass white players, but they can
Tita Pinichero.
never generate the interest that
Yeah.
Caitlyn did.
Tita
They just didn't.
Pinichero. Right.
So
Yeah.
no, I don't agree with that.
The only other player that I could kind of say that kind of had a big buzz and had like a big kind of like
Candace.
entrance, I would even say bigger than Candace, was before it was the internet, and this before you was watching it, was Cheryl Swoops. Cheryl Swoops had
I
a
would agree with
lot of
that.
buzz. Yeah, she had a lot of buzz. So that's one, and Candace too. So there's pretty much, I would say, three players that pretty much kind of had like a polarizing kind of
Well, see,
entrance.
here's my logic on it. Cheryl Swoops was the foundation, was the concrete.
Mhm.
Before there was the internet, there was
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah.
There was the sitcom. So if you back then, if you
Mhm.
was on Martin,
Yeah.
that was like being on Johnny Carson or something like
It
that.
was what? It was her, Dawn Staley, and
Her,
I always forget the
Leslie,
other
Rebecca
one.
Lobo, Dawn Staley.
Who was the one girl that had the braids? It was Swoops, Lobo, Dawn Staley, and the one other girl.
Lisa
The
Leslie.
fourth. No. It was a guard. What's the other guard? Number 4. I forgot her name. She was. I
Swoops,
forgot her name.
Staley, Lobo, Leslie. Who am I missing?
I forgot her name.
I'd have to look up that episode because I know they
Yeah, I
did
forgot her
that
name.
charity thing. But the point is, back then,
Yeah.
that was as high as you could go if you was on the
And,
episode of Martin. What?
Arsenio.
Yep.
Arsenio. There was a few
Yep.
shows, or to be a guest on a show, you had to be kind of you
had
kind
to
of
be
made
with
it.
it.
Married
So
with Children.
she was the foundation. She was the
Fresh
foundation.
Prince.
But
Fresh Prince was another one. Not as big as Martin, but if you got on Fresh Prince, you gotta, you know what I mean? But Martin, yeah, definitely as far as sitcoms at that time, yeah. Martin, you got on Martin, man. That was because he was the shit at the time. Like,
yeah, that was you couldn't get no higher. He was the number one show.
right.
So
But
I mean they got it wasn't Teresa Weatherspoon. Swoops had major buzz. Teaspoon did too. But my point is, Cheryl
Mhm.
Swoops was on the Wheaties box.
Mhm.
She was part of the Olympic team. So that's what that
Played
buzz
Mike
was.
101.
So I'm answering the
She played Michael Jordan 101 too.
yeah. So it was just a different type of. It's hard to compare because everybody, if you grew up with social media, you don't understand what it was like back in the day. So
Yeah, but her buzz would kind of be the equivalent of kind of a Caitlin Clark at that time. Not as big, but she would have had a buzz. She would definitely been one that people would have been watching the WNBA for.
yeah, can you relate? You can. This is why I say if you keep it basketball, it's gonna play itself out. It's gonna play itself out. You talking about the racism is created by the internet? I agree. You have to take the societal emotions out of it. I agree again, but everybody can't do that.
Right.
And see it for what it is. That's the problem. Most people can't see it for what it is. You got such a biased opinion. nobody wants to. I can agree to disagree, but most people don't want to do that. So,
True.
um, yo, my man Zoe said, "Ain't nobody drafting Fee over Asia."
My thing is when it comes to Angel though, she needs to get the right coach that's going to place her strengths. I
Yeah,
don't know
but
what they're trying to experiment with her with all this shit. Like she definitely has talent in there, but like I said, there's things that she definitely has to work on. If she just improves a little bit on certain things, she'll be a much better player. But I just don't think they use her correctly.
nah, I agree, but they're getting better.
Yeah,
So
she had a better game last game, so she didn't had her first triple double. So you know what I mean? Like she can pass the ball and she can, you know what I mean, sacrifice. But like I said, they just need to get better at where to place her, where she needs to go. I honestly think that her knee injury really changed her game up.
who Angel?
Yeah. I think when she really messed up her knee, because she had a knee injury, like a bad one, I think before she went to LSU. And
Uh,
it kind of changed her movements a little bit.
yeah,
I
but
don't think she
I think
drags that
that's
foot a lot.
I think that's water under the bridge now. She is what she is because she had a. I mean, her game is what she did at LSU.
Hmm.
Her game is low. And like I was saying before, the fact that she got a triple double means that Chicago was hitting their shots.
Yeah, true.
Because you can only get an assist if they make the shot.
True.
And Ariel Atkins and Kia Nurse, they wasn't hitting them shots. So that's what has to happen. Angel Reese can get a double double with her eyes closed. So it all
And
depends on
she get
if
5 of them off her own rebound, off her
if
own.
if if Chicago can start shooting at a consistent pace and a better pace, they might have something to work with. And again, like I say, a lot of people don't like Tyler Marshall's X's and O's, but at the end of the day, the women on the court got to be the ones to put the ball in the bucket. Period.
I don't know what it is, man. He reminds me of one of them Goombas from Mario Brothers.
But you stupid.
He looked like he looked like one of the turtles. I swear,
You stupid.
he looked like a cartoon character.
I ain't arguing with you, dude. You're not
Oh,
wrong.
like a caricature of Carlton from the Fresh Prince. I don't, he
Uh,
just seems like one of them coaches that probably know his X and O's, but he also seems like one of them coaches that just has a personality that they just ain't gonna listen to.
that's possible, but winning cures a whole lot of things.
It does, but
So,
you still
so we'll
3 and
see.
7,
We'll see what's gonna happen.
beating another team that's 2 and 7 with their star out. I mean, you still take the W regardless because it's not your fault that the other player's out. So I still take the dub, especially if I'm 2 and 7. I'll take whatever dub I can get.
You take whatever you can get at this moment.
Give me them scraps. I don't care.
But
Shit.
they on the razor's edge right now, man, because it can go that
They messed
like
up.
that triple double game could be a pivot point,
Yeah.
or it could be if they don't keep that up, they can crash and burn. So
Ooh, but they messed up their future though. Remember
yeah,
they gave up the pick.
no,
They basically picked
no,
up a lot of backup
it,
players in the
it
offseason.
it ain't a they. It's Jeff P, the GM.
Well,
All this is on his shoulders.
yeah, it's crazy.
So I kind of think that because I don't see Chicago making the playoffs. So I
Oh,
think he might end up getting fired anyway.
yeah, they definitely do because to be honest with you, regardless of how
I
people
never should have
feel
fired
about it,
Houston, first of all.
regardless of how people feel about it on the team or not, they need to keep Angel.
Well, they never should have fired Teresa Weatherspoon. You should have at
Yeah,
least gave her a second year.
he only had 1 year under the belt, huh?
1 year. They fired her after 1 year because that wasn't who he wanted. So, but
Uh,
she got results, and I'll say it again. If whatever happened with Kennedy Carter didn't happen, and if Kennedy Carter was playing those last 5 games last year, Chicago
mhm.
makes it to the playoffs. Kennedy
Mm,
Carter was the difference. It's
yeah,
just a shame that she had all that baggage with her, and now she playing. Now she licking titties in Mexico.
but that's what they're gonna need though for them to be successful. They're gonna need that type of player where the stove get a little hot that they could put on the shoulders.
Yeah,
And
but
because Chetty was definitely a baller.
players like that, they don't come a dime a dozen.
That's I know. They have you have that's where the luck comes in when it comes to the draft or when it comes to you know what I'm saying? That's where the luck
Yep.
comes in. So we'll see what happens. But
Yeah,
I know Indiana, they definitely in the offseason They might have to get depends on what happens, but as far as right now, the trajectory of DeWanna Bonner, he's not working out.
Nah, she's
Um,
done. She's not a she's an offensive liability,
she's playing like
and
she's a 15-year veteran.
she
She looks
get
like
she gets scatterbrained too much.
yeah. And
She gets scatterbrained.
a couple people that they need to definitely get a little beefier. Um,
Nah,
I like how
they just need a
like
bigger person.
huh?
I like Demiris Dantas is fine, but Stephanie White is going. The only reason DeWanna Bonner is here is because Stephanie White's here. That's it.
Mm,
But I think DeWanna Bonner can give you enough production where it'll be worth it. Um,
right.
she just got to minimize those mental mistakes. You can't
Yeah.
you can't be a 15-year vet and not watch the shot clock. You did that twice back to back in one game. That's unacceptable for somebody like you. So things like that, but things like that have a tendency to work themselves out the later you get in the season. Now, I don't know
Yeah.
why she's out. I know she dealing with a personal thing. I don't know what that thing is. So who knows how she gonna be when she get back. But
I didn't even know she was out. I thought she was injured.
yeah, she gonna miss the next game. She's missing
Like,
tomorrow's game, and I don't know after that. I'm not sure. So
like
um,
if Indy could shoot half as good as what they did against New York, they're going to be fine.
well, hell, if anybody shot like
And the
that,
third and the third but the most important thing is that third quarter though, coach. They actually they started off very bad like they always do, and then they made up for it. But that third quarter, man, that shit always gets me nervous, man. I don't know what it is about that third quarter when it comes to them.
they struggle. They struggle in the third. Their second halves have not been great.
And they go on these damn shooting lows too, man. 3,
They've
4,
they've
5
only
minute
had
longs.
they've only had two decent third. Well, let me see. Hold on. I can't look at it now. They've only had a few good third quarters.
Yeah. And I won't be surprised if it's only against loser teams.
So, but we'll see what they're gonna do.
Because that third quarter hurt them against New York the first
The
time.
first game, I know.
So I think even with Jacquel, they match up with them well. It's just they have to make their shots as like New York did because New York was hot on the 3-point line that first game. And Indiana, like I said, they were matching them because they was matching them with the energy. They just that third quarter,
They fell
that tire
apart,
kind of flat.
and
Yeah,
they
the
had
tire
to
the tire fell flat.
they had to battle back in the fourth, and they
Mhm.
did. So, in spite of how bad they played, they still had an opportunity to win. But um, like against New York the other day, their third quarter was much better.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. But man, fucking Caitlin, you could tell she was itching to come back because the way she was playing, like shit. And you could tell she calmed down in the second half. That's why she had more assists because she was looking for her teammates.
yeah, she almost had a triple double.
As I was saying, she had a triple double alert. I was like triple double watch. So she had what 9 rebounds, 8 dimes. It's
Yeah, she
almost
was
there.
two rebounds and an assist, something like that. She was
That's
good.
crazy.
She was good.
She almost had a quadruple double with the turnovers too. Yeah, like
She had
7.
what, 7? Yeah, but I think like 3 of those were bad. Like
Yeah, but that's every that's every game. That's why I don't really like. Yeah, the turnovers can be detrimental, but I don't really put too much stock into her turnovers or like a lot of guard turnovers because one, they have the ball the most in the game. Two, there's a lot of passes that really ain't their fault.
yeah,
That
but
might be
it
turnovers,
only
but still counts them.
the turnovers I'm looking at. I'm looking at the turnovers. What happens on the other end?
Hmm.
Because that's all that matters. If you playing good defense and you get the stop, you got to get the shot on the other side.
That's true. I mean, they did that well against New York, though.
Yep.
They definitely did. Their defense has definitely improved
Yep.
since
Hold on,
last year.
Carlo.
So
Yeah, Skull Brain. That's not on Tyler. You talking about Tyler needs to be fired for letting Jeff tell him how to come. Dude, Jeff P is the GM.
yeah,
So Tyler's hands are tied. Now Tyler might not be the best X's and O guy, and he might be trying to coach over his head right now. He just might not be. It might not be time for him yet. But the decisions they make and the picks they gave up, that's on Jeff P. That ain't on Tyler Marsh.
But coach, I'ma holler at you, coach.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Definitely good talking to you. Always.
Let's go, Fever. All right. Can you relate? I appreciate you, bro. Caitlin played like an addict getting their first hit. Yep, you're right. She did. She did. She absolutely did. And she didn't get too far away from what they needed to do in that third quarter because she missed a couple shots and that could have went south real quick. That could have went south quick. So, um, but they're doing what they got to do. They're doing what they got to do, and it's working. So going forward, and this goes into play with Indiana. This goes into play with Chicago going forward. For Chicago, um, I mean, for both teams, really, they got to. Everybody else has to make their shots. For Chicago, Ariel Atkins and Rebecca Allen have to play better. Ariel Atkins is you the number. You're supposed to be the number one shooter on that team. You got to start shooting like you're the number one shooter on that team. Um, and really, I mean, you can go across the board and say that as long as the team is making their shots, if Caitlin is off, Kelsey Mitchell is going to pick up the slack. If she's making her shots, then it falls to Lexi Hall. So it kind of goes down the pecking order. Natasha Howard, she's cleanup. She's the one that gets the rebounds, gets the putbacks, and stuff like that. So Natasha Howard can get you 10 points or she can get you 20 to 24, depending on how the game flows. But she's got that little floater across the middle that seems to be pretty effective. Now, she's kind of a feast or famine player. Some games she's on, some games she's not, but she'll still give you the hustle plays. You know what you're going to get on Lexi Hall. I wish Lexi Hall would shoot the ball even more. That's just me. I wish she would take some open shots that she's got plenty of space and she can fire up a three. I wish she would take more shots, but she doesn't. She's running the play and she gets the ball out of her hands. So, but we'll see how it continues to go. Sophie's she's going to be the hustle player. She just doesn't shoot as well as Lexi Hall. So you got what you got. So the three top options for Indiana right now is Caitlin Clark is one, Kelsey Mitchell is two, Lexi Hall is three. I don't want DeWanna Bonner firing up threes at random. I don't want to see that. So they just got to get better and keep playing the way they've been playing. Kaylin's got to reel in those passes. Like she got to be extra sure because she threw a couple of dimes, but her timing and it's not even the timing or the placement. When you throw a pass like that, you got to look at it like somebody's a wide receiver and they looking this way to catch the ball. And when they catch it, once they get themselves together and get their head around where's the basket. So it's not that Caitlin's making a bad pass, but for those type of passes, they need to be made a second earlier. They need to be made a second earlier. It can't be if the receiver would have had an extra step, that's an easy bucket. So she has to be a little bit better discerning how much room she has and how much room that teammate has when they catch the ball. That's the most important thing. So, yeah. Kelsey played better with Kate. Yeah, she does play better, but the problem is that Kelsey Mitchell has not been good from three. That's been the problem. She's not been good from three. So she's got to get better at that. But she's a volume shooter. So how do you get better? You keep shooting. So, and Caitlin can't get no more texts. She be trying to do that to the refs, and they're gonna tee your ass up every time. So I don't want to see her get suspended over some dumb arguing calls that doesn't matter. You're not gonna change a ref's mind from bitching at him. Not gonna happen. 2.5 months for football, absolutely. Can't wait either. Can't wait either. So, but yeah, man, it's this was just one game for them. One game for Caitlin Clark, one game for Angel Reese. Now you got to see what the team's going. You are past and you are out of the it's still early stage. Everybody got almost 10 games in. So now we move into the meat and potatoes of the season. And this is where teams are going to start making their moves and separating themselves. Now they're doing this Commissioner Cup thing, which I don't necessarily care about. But you got to see which teams are going to extend the lead. Which teams are going to – the good thing about Indiana is they took on New York, and that was a dominant performance against the best team in the league. New York is still the best team in the league. I don't care what anybody says. It's not Indiana. It's not Minnesota. It's New York is the best team in the league. So now I need to see Indiana do that against everybody else. They're going to go back and forth with Atlanta. Like I said, Atlanta's a good team. So it's 1-1, I think. I think Atlanta is up 2-1. They beat us twice and we beat them once. But it's been close games. So we want to see what's going to happen going forward. That's what it's about. So, but listen, man, I'm going to get up out of here, man. Good conversations tonight, man. Philly MM, Can You Relate, Kelsaw Link, Skullbrain Nation, RC Iowa, UCLA. Everybody that was in the chat, man. My man Zoe, I appreciate you, bro. Everybody that was in the chat. Good conversations, good fire. I'm not one of these dudes that can stay on for like 3 hours. I'm old. I'm getting tired. But good conversations, man. And we're going to see what's going on tomorrow. I will be streaming the Indiana Fever live. So come check me out on Pro Fan Talk. And we're going to keep this thing moving, man. All right. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.
Get ready for the show. It's about to begin. Pro Fan Talk where we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro Fan Talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.